With us now, the Republican presidential candidate, Will Hurd. Will, thank you for joining us, being here on the Hill on News Nation. Appreciate the time. Let's address sort of the elephant in the room first with your campaign. You didn't make the first debate. You're not polling right now. Francis Suarez, who didn't make the first debate, dropped out of the race. I know you've been along the southern border in the recent days, so clearly you're taking your candidacy seriously at this point. But with another debate just a few weeks out, what is the timeline for you, Will, as to determine how much longer your campaign goes?
Well, right now the focus is meeting some of those criteria to be on the Republican stage. You know, we're nearing that the donor threshold, which we met in the last debate. Now that we have some clarity on how polls are going to be used, and those polling firms actually have some clarity, then we're going to focus there. We've already had a statewide poll that we've met in, and we're going to continue to be on the ground and talk to folks and talk about issues people care about. So my focus is over those next 25 days to continue taking a message and talking about things people care.
And what happens if you don't get there the next 25 days?
Well, look, my goal is always focus on the first objective in front of you, and that's what we're doing. And so we'll come back and have that conversation once we get to that next phase.
Got it. Okay. Ron DeSantis, I mentioned you were a member of Congress. You live and represented a border town. Of course, this is a top tier issue, not along just the southern border, but really for both parties right now. Here was Ron DeSantis the other night in the Republican debate, and I want to get your reaction on the other side.
I'm not going to send troops to Ukraine, but I am going to send them to our southern border. When these drug pushers are bringing fentanyl across the border, that's going to be the last thing they do. We're going to use force, and we're going to leave them stone cold dead.
See right there?
Look, the reason the border hasn't been secured in 20 years is because our politicians are lying to us about what can be done and how difficult these issues are.
Are you saying Ron DeSantis is lying with that answer?
Ron DeSantis knows that invading Mexico is going to have an impact on our largest trading partner. Should we be cooperating with Mexico? Should we have an agreement with the Mexican government to help them with whatever material or support that they potentially need that may even be kinetic? We should have that conversation. So yes, I'm supportive of the military engaging, but that's only in cooperation with the Mexican government. We should be doing things like making countering human smugglers and drug trafficking organizations a national intelligence priority. This is not a priority for the CIA. This is not a priority for the NSA. The Border Patrol, and this is the things that I've been learning these last couple of days, they're collecting a lot of data and intelligence on the massive infrastructure that smugglers are using. But we're not taking that information and giving it to the entities that could potentially action it. We should be working with partners in El Salvador and Guatemala that has the willingness and the resources to do it. So these are the serious issues and ways that we're going to ultimately solve a problem that has seen 5.5 million people come in the country illegally under Joe Biden, and fentanyl is killing 109,000 Americans a year.
Well, you of course want to be the next president of the United States. That's why you're in the race. That's why you're running. And the Republican Party in the Senate is Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Senate for Republicans. It's where we started this show. You are 46 years old, I believe. I'm sure you've seen the video of the 81-year-old Senate Minority Leader. Is it time for new leadership?
Look, whether we have new leadership or not is up to the American people. You know, I hope Mitch is fine. I haven't seen the video. The places I was on the border, I didn't have cell phone service, so I've been out of pocket for a couple of hours. But ultimately, one of the reasons that I'm running for office is that age is going to be an issue in this election, in many elections, not just this presidential election. And we need people that actually understand the issues that Americans are facing today and going to be facing in the future. People are always shocked when I talk about how I always get asked a question about artificial intelligence. How is that going to impact my job? Am I going to lose my job to a robot? Yeah. We need people that know these tools, understand these tools, use these tools in order to legislate them and make sure that we take advantage of technology before technology takes advantage of us.
Will Hurd, thank you for the time. Appreciate it. Thanks for being with us.
Always
here on
a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.